Nottingham is a wonderfully diverse city, but the other side of that coin is that there is hate crime. We found through speaking with the courts, working with the police who have been very supportive in this whole process, that the criminal justice system is not adequately responding to this. So low levels of reporting of actual hate crime. We found that hate crime from our listening campaign over the last few months was a very strong theme that came out and that people voted for.
What's the personal interest for you?
Well, my background, I studied law and I've got a passion for social justice and also positive change, so I felt that I really needed to get involved in those kind of issues, especially in Nottingham. Obviously, being black, I have experienced racial slurs, and from my hometown in Cambridgeshire all the way through to in Nottingham, and also in Newark. Quite recently, in fact, even on New Year's Eve, just walking down the road quietly by myself, I do have had people walk next to me and call me the N-word, as well as other names that people will be familiar with.
So this is something you've experienced yourself. You mentioned in Newark on New Year's Day. What did you do when somebody walked past you and called you the M-word?
Well, at first I didn't quite believe it, that racism would exist that kind of blatant. I didn't react to it. I just thought, just ignore it. It's not worth my time. It's New Year's. I'm in a good mood. I don't need to carry on. The second time was I was walking down the road and a white van passed and they screamed out, the racial slur. And at first I was afraid for my own safety. Turned around the corner, there was a police car there, but they'd already gone anyway, so I was kind of relieved that was there in case anything did happen.
Did you report it?
No, I didn't.
Isn't that part of the problem, that I think for many people listening to this programme, myself included, will have experienced something similar to what you're talking about? And yet I've never reported it, you've never reported it, so how can Nottinghamshire Police do more to tackle this issue if we're not reporting it?
I think the tough thing, and what deterred me from reporting it, it's very hard to prove. Obviously they want to know who it was, where were they, what time of day, and all that kind of stuff. But when we surveyed over 130 taxi drivers in Nottingham, and we found that there were 696 incidents of racial abuse in a week. But some of these were really violent, and I suppose it's only when that comes into play that the people do report it. But it is very tough if it's somebody who's saying something on the street to you.
So what's wrong with the current system?
I'll say what's wrong is that I feel that the police need support from the community. People have an idea of what they do and who they are. However, Police Commissioner Paddy Tipping has been very supportive in this. The Chief Constable has actually led tackling some issues about stop and search, for example, and have a very positive, and we want to actually work with the community. And it's really our opportunity as a community in general to actually work to support them in doing that.
Yeah, and yet you say that Nottinghamshire Police are failing to properly manage this issue, so you're working with them, but you still feel that the
I suppose it's not just the police, it's the whole criminal justice system. You have the police to the courts, they're all administrators of justice. And when some of the group met with the courts, they realised that it wasn't being reported properly. They'll take it down, but say, for example, if the same suspect turned up again for a different hate crime, that wouldn't necessarily be reflected in sentencing.
You are currently calling for people from across Nottinghamshire to get in touch and take part in an online survey.
Yes.
Give us a bit of an idea of what that's about.
So the online survey is really to kind of a bit like our listening campaigns, to work out what are the issues, are there any stories coming out of that, can we actually provide help and support in that. I mean, it can be done anonymously as well, but also giving signpostings as to where they can get support from. Part of the survey as well is a part of the launch for the Hate Crime Commission itself, the inquiry into hate crime, which will dig deeper, do substantial research, dig deeper, and then from that report, which will be launched in October, we'll look at providing practical recommendations and support to the criminal justice system and also to the community about how we can actually all get involved